Hello and welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. I'm Nameco, sitting here with Dustin as we get into week 6 of the baseball season. We're going to start you off with some waiver wire.
And we start with David Freese out there with the Cardinals. You know, if you at all need a third baseman, we think this guy's a great gamble. It's a perfect time of year to take some gambles on some young guys, especially at positional players, only owning 40% of leagues. Next, we got a catcher for you. You know, a lot of hurt catchers right now, Kurt Suzuki, Posada, Montero. You know, if you're one of the owners of these catchers, you might be looking for one. John Buck, only owning 10% of leagues. He has been playing amazing over the last couple weeks. Could be a good temporary fix for you.
And I'm going to go over 2 proven pitchers that are available on the waiver wire right now. And the first one's Rich Harden. He's owned in only 55% of leagues. Got off to a terrible start this season, but his last outing was pretty good, so you're going to want to at least keep an eye on him, if not make him a speculative ad and sit him on your bench. And next is Jake Peavy. He was pretty much universally drafted. Now, due to his rough start, he's only owned in 85% of leagues. He, just like Harden, had a very good outing his last time out. Certainly keep an eye on him, and you might want to even pick him up just like Harden because you want to be the owner.
Alright, now I got a couple young outfielders for you, and we start with Austin Jackson. What the hell does this guy have to do to get added? He's been one of the best outfielders so far, and he's still only owning 65% of leagues. He's got speed, he's batting for average. I don't get it. He's instant trade value. Pick him up right now if he's available. Austin Jackson. Maybe you've seen him. He leads the American League in hits. Next, we got Dexter Fowler out there in Colorado, only owning 15% of leagues. You know, he's an outfielder that might not necessarily bat for average or power, but could be a good speed guy that you can have on your bench and plug in whenever you're looking for some speed. Alright, so far this year there's a lot of old proven fantasy players that are off to great starts so far. They've kind of been out of the fantasy realm for a couple years, but they're popping back up, and a lot of people have been asking us if we should believe the numbers.
And I just so happen to have a list here, Dustin. So
how convenient.
Why don't you go into buy or sell? I don't need any long-winded answer. I'm just going to ramble off some names here. We're going to start with a couple pitchers. Brad Penny.
Sell him.
Livan Hernandez.
Try to trade him.
Barry Zito.
Get him off your team.
Paul Konerko.
Trade him.
Jose Guillen.
Trade him.
Vernon Wells.
Sell.
Alex Gonzalez.
Sell.
Andrew Jones.
Trade him.
So why, I do need, a little explanation now.
Here's the deal. Once in the fantasy land in baseball especially, once you get to the age of about 34-ish or higher, and you've had 2 seasons in a row or more where you haven't really been fantasy relevant or the player that you were in the past, odds are you aren't going to go back in time and start putting up those great numbers again. So while they're hot right now, they're probably going to wear down during the course of the season and come back.
What Dustin's trying to say, if you own these guys, I know they're doing great for you right now, but try to deal them. You're going to get great value for them. If you can get a young guy in return, that's probably your best bet that you can do right now with these guys.
Well, you might be able to get great value for them, but I still think you take what you can get for them right now.
There's a sucker in every league.
They do have some trade value. Take what you can get. Try to get some young talent. Get these old guys off your team because more than likely they're not going to keep it up. Alright, we got a forum question here. This one comes from Green Man. He wants to know, should he trade Mark Teixeira for Vernon Wells and Joey Votto?
Well, at first glance at this, we're looking at don't do this trade, but let me dig into it a little bit more. We're talking about all of these guys that we're looking to sell right now. Teixeira is actually one of the guys we're absolutely looking to buy, and here's why. He's historically a slow starter. 2 out of the last 3 Aprils, he's been pretty much awful, but he's always turned it around. So at first glance, we're saying don't do this trade, don't even come think about giving up on Teixeira yet. However, with all this being said, if you're having a really tough time at outfield right now, Green Man, you might want to go ahead and do this because we really like Voto's upside, and there is a small chance that Wells could be an everyday outfielder for you.
So that's it for this week's show. As always, get in our forums if you got any questions. I'm Dustin, this is Brent. Quick shout out.
Jane, happy Mother's Day.
Velma, happy Mother's Day. That's right, like from Scooby-Doo.